Hello students, hope you are doing well, and I welcome you in this practice to pass webinar for paper AAA, which is being organized by ACCA for September 2022 session. And I'm your trainer, I'm your tutor, Haris Hanif from Tabani's School of Accountancy. I would like to make sure, first of all, that whether my voice, screen, video is all clear to all of you. Am I audible? My voice, screen is clear to all of you. Please reply me in the question box. I want the engagement from all of you, whether my voice, screen, and video is all clear to all of you. Okay, that's fine. So this webinar is being organized by ACCA Pakistan, and the purpose of this webinar is to pass your exam, right? So yes, okay. Now that's great. That's great. Okay, now. First of all, I would like to introduce myself and I would like to share my profile for your relevance. Then we will be discussing our agenda for this practice to pass session for paper AAA. And yes, AAA is one of the challenging exam in the professional level, but we need to pass it and we will be trying our level best to guide you accordingly in order to pass your exam. Now, I am Haris Hanif and I am ACCA affiliate and graduate in commerce, and I'm currently teaching paper MA, PM, AA and AAA. And coincidentally, all of these are the challenging exams in the ACCA. But don't you people worry about it. If it is challenging, then it must be interesting. And it is easy to pass if you know the tricks and cracks of the exam. You can easily pass out the paper. Now, I'm teaching these papers at the Tabani's School of Accountancy, which is the Platinum ALP, and I am also associated with Tabani's Academy, which is the sister concern company of Tabani's School of Accountancy for online lecturing. And Tabani's School of Accountancy is a Platinum Institute in the southern region of Pakistan. I've also taught in different other approved learning partners, and I'm teaching since 2011. And I have been selected 4 times by ACCA Pakistan for practice to pass session. And I have started my career in a bank, and then I have worked in a textile company and in the chartered accountant firm as well. And then I'm engaged in teaching profession since 2011. These are my contact details. You can follow me on my Facebook official page, my YouTube channel, and you can even WhatsApp me for your papers. I will be available on these platforms even after the end of the webinar, after the end of the session as well. So you people can note down my number. So you can, if you want to discuss anything, you can. All right. Now, let's discuss the webinar schedule. It is from 20th August till 23rd of August. It's 4 days webinar, and the time is 8:30 p.m. till 11:30 p.m. PST, which is Pakistan Standard Time. Syllabus area. Yes, I would like to have a discussion about the syllabus area and which areas to be focused on, since the aim of this webinar is to help you out, to prepare you so that you will be able to pass your exam. This is the main agenda of the webinar, and I really appreciate the efforts of ACCA for organizing such webinars, which are really helpful for the students to pass out the papers. Now, these are the syllabus areas, which is the regulatory framework, professional and ethical consideration, practice management, section D, which is planning and conducting of historical financial information. This section D and section E, which is completion and reporting, these two are very much important and crucial areas and very much significant areas. If you can successfully focus on these areas and the writing techniques as well, I am giving you the reasonable assurance that you can easily pass off the exam. If you can if you can handle the exam, if you can read out the requirement. No, you don't have to read out the requirement. You have to understand the requirement. If you just pick up the paper and you just read out the requirement, it's not enough. You have to read and you have to understand the requirements, because many of the time it is observed that students are not able to understand the requirement, what is being asked, and they simply write down the answer, and although the answer is correct, the answer is correct according to the judgment of the student, but according to the judgment of the examiner, what is being asked, that was not responded. So you need to make sure that you don't need to just read the requirement, plus you need to understand the requirement. That is the most important thing. In the section D and section E, I'm going to discuss this area. Other assignment, this is also examinable. This area is also examinable. Obviously, the important aspect of AAA exam is that every part is being tested. Every part is being tested. Every part is being tested. And there are current issues and development. I will have to discuss the current issues which are relevant for this AAA paper for the upcoming session. But probably I will not be discussing it today, because the agenda which I have designed, I have to follow that agenda as well. And there are professional skills. Obviously, professional skills is one of the important aspect. Employability and technology skills, which is the how to use the ACCA practice platform, which you all know very well. Now, if I need to discuss this thing, that these two areas are more important to be focused on, because in this area, this is the planning and conducting the audit of historical financial information. If I can elaborate, if I can expand this session, if I can expand this section, planning and historical financial information, that includes the planning stage, and conducting the audit, and this involves TOC and substantive. As you all know that there are this audit cycle. There is the audit cycle. That is when the auditor is selected. When the auditor is selected, elected by the shareholders, that is auditor's appointment. If I can summarize this thing, auditor is actually appointed. Then auditor sign AEL, which is audit engagement letter, and there will be the planning stage, and then thereafter there will be audit performing. This is a systematic step. This is a systematic approach how to conduct the audit. Listen and remember, there is the accounting cycle. Then when the entries are produced, the day books are produced, and then the updation of the ledger, trial balance, and the financial statements. Similarly, there is the audit cycle. You need to focus and understand about the audit cycle. When you perform the audit, that involves test of controls and substantive. And then there will be the review stage, and then there will be the audit reporting. Now this is the completely. Now I am saving this file, and I will also be sharing this annotated file later on when I will end up with the lecture. But currently this raw file might be attached in your handouts column. You can simply download this file, and I am also saving this file which is annotated by me, and then I will be sharing it later on. If you need this annotated file, I will be sharing, but I will strongly recommend all of you to just note it down and also perform the practice as I am doing in this webinar. Now this is the audit cycle. Now I'm explaining this audit cycle. Auditor is appointed. It's AL, that is audit engagement letter, planning, audit performed, TOC substantive, review stage, and the reporting stage. This area is always important in all of the audit stream. Whether you are appearing for AA paper, whether you are appearing for AAA paper, or any audit paper in any of the education professional accountancy stream, this area is utmost important. But the plus point and the good news for the audit and advanced audit and assurance student is that every area is examined. But again, we need to analyze the important weightage for it. because analysis is one of the important skills which we need to apply throughout this session, and you need to apply throughout this webinar, throughout this exam as well. So planning means that this areas covering is actually the section D, and this is the very important area, the very important area from the examining point of view. This is a very important area, and if I can summarize the expected weightages, if I can summarize the expected weightages from this section, so you can simply assume it's not 100% confirmed. It is just the uh, analysis. You can also analyze this based on the available past exam pattern, that this section is approximately 30 to 40% of your exam. Yes, 30 to 40%. And you know, 30 to 40%, I am talking about the technical skills. I'm talking about the technical stuff plus additional professional marks. So this is the paper, which is structurally examined, which is there are many definite areas to be examined, and this section is 30 to 40% approximately, which is being examined here. And then the next one is the reporting, completion and reporting stage, completion and reporting phase. This area is section E area, and this is the approximately, we can say this area is approximately 20 to 25% can be examined. So if you need to pass this paper very comfortably, you need to focus and more focus with the quality study and quality practice on these areas. And I'm going to write down the requirement as well. I will be discussing the requirements, and then we will be start practicing. There are other assignment as well, like due diligence, expected financial information, and there is the new article that is on the sustainability and environmental aspect as well. So this other assignment, which you can see that other assignments can be examined near about 8 to 10% in your exam. Current issue, I will be discussing it later on. And this area is practice management and ethical consideration, and I can call this ABC area is approximately 20 to 25%, approximately, in which the ethics is examined approximately 8 to 10 marks. This is just the analysis, but the important areas to be focused on this planning and the historical auditing of the historical financial statements and the completion and review stage. This is the syllabus area, and this is the audit cycle. You probably already aware of that from your earlier paper, AA audit and assurance. Now let's proceed with this. And okay, your queries are noted regarding the WhatsApp link. It will be shared, or you can check it is already shared, right? It is already shared. It is already shared. Now I'm going to discuss this paper format, and paper format is one question 50 marks, two questions 25 marks each, and there are total 100 marks. Important and frequently repeated requirements. Important and frequently repeated requirements. These are the very important requirements which I am going to write down for your relevance. I'm now taking your questions. Don't worry, you can join the WhatsApp group. You can join the WhatsApp group, or you can simply WhatsApp me as well. I will add you in the group, or I will be sending the link as well. Mr. Junaid Ali. Mr. Junaid Ali, is it now clear? The query which you raised, it is now clear to you, Mr. Junaid Ali? Okay, now that's fine. Now that's fine. It quite may be possible that there may be some issue at your side, but now my voice is all clear, yes, because nobody is raising any issue. Okay, now I'm not going to read this, not reading this requirement. I'm going to write the frequently examined requirements. Frequently examined requirements. If you will be focusing on these requirements, it will be very much important for you to understand these requirements so that you will be able to focus on these requirements right now. Now this is the thing. The requirement is of the risk assessment. The requirement is of the risk assessment. The requirement is of the risk assessment. The requirement is of the procedures. The requirement is of the ethics, ethical and professional issues. And this is my agenda as well. This is my agenda as well, right? This is my agenda as well. This is my agenda as well to be discussed throughout this webinar. Ethical issues and the professional issues. There's a thing that comment on the matters. There is evaluation. There is evaluation of the evidences. First, quality of audit performed. This is a very important area. Quality of audit performed. That is, you are supposed to evaluate the quality which is already performed. There is implications on the audit report. Implications on the audit report. These are the frequently examined requirements, and these three requirements you will normally be receiving in question number 1, and these are in question number 2 and in question number 3. Plus there are other requirements as well. I am writing here that other topics as well, like you can say the other topics like other assignments, other miscellaneous areas, current issues. But these are the areas which you need to strictly focus on with a great quality of study pattern and the great quality of the writing drafting style. Now that will be very much important for you. That will be very much important for you to focus on these requirements, since these are the mostly repeated requirements of the in the AAA paper. These are mostly repeated requirements in the AAA exam. Now let's move ahead. Your role in the audit firm while studying AAA. Your role. Who are you? In the audit firm, in the accountancy firm, who are you? Your role is not of partner. The partner is the one who expresses the audit opinion. The partner is the one who expresses the audit opinion. You are not the audit partner. You are not the partner in the firm right now. But you need to understand that what role you are playing in the audit firm, what role you are playing in the audit firm. That is too much important. That is too much important to understand that what role you are playing. And secondly, you need to ensure that what role you are playing and what is the requirement. Under the partner, there is the manager. Under the partner, there is the manager. I mean, there is the audit manager. And this is, you are in the audit manager, and under you there are many people, there's a team working, under you, right? And in this team working, there would be audit supervisor, there would be audit senior, there would be audit juniors. And in the paper AA audit and assurance, in the paper AA audit and assurance, you were playing the role of audit junior or sometimes audit senior. But here, you are playing the role of the audit manager. You are playing the role of the audit manager here, and you need to strictly follow what is being expected. So you are not expected or supposed to apply the audit procedure here, which is a very small requirement in paper AAA. But here the juniors are already applied the audit procedures, and you have to evaluate their work. And that's why evaluation skill is so much important. Now, the question from the student is that, sir, will you be sharing this annotated file? Yes, for sure. I will be sharing this annotated file with you later on, after the end of the webinar session. I will be sharing this file surely. Don't you worry about it. But I will strongly recommend that you also write by yourself. So if anything goes missing, you can copy it later on. I will be sharing this file after the end. Now I'm not going to uh, proceed with this thing. Is it now clear, all of you? Will you please respond me in the question box that this thing is clear, that your role is that role of the audit manager. You are not the audit partner, and it is not expected from you to express the audit opinion. It is simply expected from you that review the evidences, check it out, whether the juniors have applied the procedures as required or not. That's a very simple thing. Now let's proceed with this webinar. This is the important note. 20 professional marks are now added in paper AAA, which requires the application of certain professional skills, which is communication, skepticism and judgment, analysis and evaluation, and commercial acumen. My first topic here right now is that I will have to discuss this important addition in paper AAA. I will have to discuss this important addition in AAA because it is a matter of 20%. It's a matter of 20 marks. Communication. This communication will be, I'm now going to discuss this one by one. And secondly, I will have to read and share with you the article, the professional skills, which is published by ACCA, so that you will be able to understand what is the actual expectation from you, how to apply these things. And while solving the question and the questions, I will be applying these skills, and so you will be able to better understand. Now let's discuss what is this communication skills. Communication is actually the tone of your answer, the proper structure of your answer, tone and the proper structure of your answer, skepticism and judgment. It is a very important aspect. It is a very important aspect for the AAA, and the AA paper as well. Skepticism and judgment, analysis and evaluation, and commercial acumen. Now let's discuss this thing one by one. Professional skills. I'm going to zoom it. Professional skills. These are the professional skills. And first, let's discuss these things, that what is actually meaning of these professional skills and capabilities, right? First of all, there is the skill of the communication. I have extracted this from professional skills file, which is published by ACCA. Now this is the communication skills. Now in this communication skill, communication means to inform, inform. And this communication skills will be using in question number 1, and that is the format of the email. Format of the email which you have to respond to the, you are well aware of the fact that what kind of requirement is being asked in question number 1, and that the formatting in question number 1, that will be including the communication skills. And what does the communication means? Communication means that somebody is asking for you some information, and you have to inform them, inform, persuade. You have to convince. You have to convince your answer, to persuade your answer, clarify and simplify. You have to make it clear that what you are supposed to say, what you are supposed to respond to the receiver of your email. In summary, it means candidates have to express themselves clearly and convincingly through the appropriate medium while being sensitive to the needs of the intended audience. Need, that means user targeted. That means user target. And who is your user? Who is your user? The audit partner. The audit partner will be sending you an email. The audit partner will be sending you the email, and you are supposed to respond him or her. That is what is being asked. This means responding in a professional manner, adhering to any specific instruction made. Any specific instruction made. Because in question number 1, sometimes it is clearly mentioned that you do not need to apply the, you don't need to assess the risk based on certain matter or whatever. The specific instruction is from the side of the audit partner. You need to follow that. Skepticism. Number 2 is the skepticism. Explore, question, challenging, and critically assess. You need to use your skepticism and plus the judgment skills. Because along with the skepticism, there is the judgment. In summary, that means you have to challenge the information and views presented to them, identifying if all information is available or whether there may be underlying bias, and based on yes, business issue, ethical and professional values. You need to critically analyze. Critically analyze means that what are the positive aspect, what are the negative aspect. But since you are the auditor, you have to look at it in a very critical manner. And so you need to focus on more negative aspect, that what can go wrong. What can go wrong? That's your more negative aspect, because you need to focus on the professionalism. So if anything goes wrong from your side, your profession could be degraded. So that is, you need to focus on the skepticism and the judgment, very critical. Very critical. Focusing on the more, what can be the most worst case scenario. I will be applying, and I will be explaining that this is that skill, this is that skill, and this is that skill in the answer. So this firstly, we need to focus and understand these professional skills first, so that it will be applied into the questions. Okay, and my today's agenda, I will be starting the question from the risk assessment, which is mostly worth 20 to 25 marks. This risk assessment, this area is approximately, it is approximately 20 to 25 marks in your exam. Only the risk assessment. So imagine the risk assessment area and procedure is almost 8 to 10% normally. Ethical and professional issues normally 6 to 10 marks here in this question number 1. So if I can take very minimum aspect, that is 20 marks, and there are 10 marks or 8 marks. So these are the areas that is too much important to focus on, and believe me, these are the requirements. If you will explore and if you can perform well these requirements, you can easily pass out the paper. So that's why this first topic would be, this would be my first topic to be discussed and solved on these topics. Now let's discuss these communication skills. Analysis and evaluation. Number 3 is analysis and evaluation. That is investigate, consider, assess and apply and appraise. Evaluation. Evaluation means that already the information is available to you. Let's say I am your junior and you guys are the senior, so you have to think like an upper level, right? You have to think like an upper level. And what is the expectation from you? That some information is available. I'm not specifically saying that this is the audit evidence, this is XYZ. Some information is available. It may be the ethical issue, it may be the evidences already performed by the junior, it may be any information, and you need to investigate, research the information from a variety of sources and logically process it with a view to prioritize the activities and arriving at an appropriate conclusion or recommendation. That means while we will be applying this analysis and evaluation skills, so you need to write about the recommendation. Recommendation just does not mean that you are forcing me, you are giving me an instruction. No, recommendation means that if this could be possible, this is further possible. This is a recommendation tone, or that it depends on the scenarios that when you are supposed to give the recommendation to the audit junior in the hierarchy. The analysis should form the part of comprehensive evaluation of a matter. See, ACCA also had written the matter. I'm not expressly saying that which matter is this. It is the matter where candidates need to be carefully assess the situation, proposal. It quite may be the possible chance that some proposal would be given to you. Like there is a proposal from the audit client to give the other non-audit services like taxation service, like bookkeeping service, like any other service. Argument is balanced and cogent with using professional and ethical judgment. Future outcomes. Yes, it is very important. It is very important to predict the future outcome. That is, what can be in the future. What can be in the future, and consequences as a basis for sound decision making. You should also be able to apply the skills. Let's say I am giving you the example of the evaluation. Let's say there is a topic in the ethics and the practice management section, the advertisement, because nowadays advertisement is a very important thing, whether it is the advertisement of any company, any product, any institute, any commercial accountancy firm. And you know that in order to use the logo and the name of ACCA, there is a requirement of ACCA Code of Ethics to when there are at least 50% partners in the firms. In the firm, there are 50% partners, and those are collectively having 51% of the shares in the firm. Let's say, for example, there is the accountancy firm, and the number of partners are less than 50%, right now. And you are the audit manager. You are the audit manager, and in your attention, there is the advertisement made. There is the advertisement. I am the junior in your firm, and you are the senior. You are the manager. Okay. I have drafted a proposal for the advertisement of our firm to be advertised in the local professional newspaper or in any authentic professional website. So when you will be reviewing the advertisement which I have given you the proposal, so you have to critically evaluate and predict the future. Since audit firm is also the business, so you need to use the commercial acumen sense as well. That is the awareness, issues and judgment show insight that is related to the commercial. That is, think like a businessman. Think like a businessman. You need to think of the business. So now these two skills are going to be combined together to formulate the answer, to construct the answer. Now let's say there are less than 50% partners who are ACCA member. Let's say, for example, in fact it was a past paper as well in the AAA paper. Now, and you need to evaluate. First of all, you will be analyzing that this is the advertisement. There should be no unethical language. It should be clear and straightforward. And right now, coming to the topic, that when you have less than 50% partners, the name of ACCA or the logo cannot be used as per the ACCA Code of Ethics. Let's say, for example, and you will be analyzing that this is the advertisement. It can be any legal action, it can be any action from the professional body. Then what will be happen to the firm? You need to predict the future outcomes. And this is the commercial acumen sense as well, because you are thinking for your business. Now, commercial acumen is that this means that candidates have to show awareness and wider business environment, and you need to think for two kinds of businesses. You need to focus on two kinds of businesses. Number one, the company, I mean the client company. The client company, you need to focus on the business of the client company. You need to focus to the client company. I am taking your question. I'm taking your question after the end of this specific slide, and I'm addressing your answer as well. Client company, you need to focus on the firm as well, because both are businesses, because both are businesses, right? So when you are writing the business risk is one of the important requirement as well. So for the business risk, yes, business, and use the commercially sound judgment. So you need to focus on two kinds of business while thinking for the commercial acumen, and that is the business of the client entity and firm. All right. Now I'm taking your question and I'm addressing your queries. This is a very important information. Yes, Nazish Khalid, you're right. And what is the level of depth involved when you are evaluating the audit junior's work? Okay, Mahaganapat Akil, this is your question and I'm addressing what level of depth. Okay, the depth is the level of depth. The level of depth depends on the information available in the question. The level of depth is available in the question. Now it depends on the question and the requirement. So you will be seeing, you will be observing how I will be addressing these things. Okay. Now note, in question number 1, all 4 professional skills will be required to apply. Remember that in question number 1, all 4 professional skills will be required to apply, all 4 professional skills. And the communication worth 4 marks. Communication worth 4 marks, and other 3 skills worth 6 marks. You need to be very careful. You need to focus that in question number 1, there is the requirement to apply 10 marks professional skills. 10 marks professional skills, and rest of the 10 marks in question number 2 and question number 3, here 5 marks and here 5 marks. So that will be 5 and 5, 10, and 10 plus 20 professional marks. In question number 1, you need to know the breakup of the professional marks. I'm especially emphasizing on these professional marks because it will be examined for the very first time, and you should be prepared for that. Okay, you should be prepared for that. And remember one thing, I need to motivate you as well. See, you have enrolled in ACCA, you have cleared your knowledge module, you have cleared your skills module, and you are in the professional module right now. If you can pass out the knowledge module, skills module, all the ways that you can easily pass out this paper as well, because it is something that if you can pass out those papers, you can easily pass out this paper as well. It's not difficult, it's challenging and required a very important thing to focus on. Number 1 is your self-confidence. Number 2 is your time management. Number 3 is your technical and professional skills. See, if you are competent enough, if you know the skills, you are competent, but you are afraid, then you cannot perform. You need to have a very good confidence. You need to have apply the efficient time management. You need to be very efficient for your time management, and there is no need to get afraid. Okay, don't get afraid. Don't get afraid of anything. It's an exam. It's an exam. Learn it, pass it, observe it, learn the skills, observe the things, apply the things. You can easily pass the paper. If you can reach at this stage, simply you can pass out the exam. Okay, so don't worry about this professional marks and the technical marks, because since I'm teaching online as well, so I'm receiving the query across the world that what about the professional marks, what is the challenging level, it's not completed on time. There are so many negativity around you. So it's your mind, it's not a dustbin that you are attracting the negative things, that you are, it's your mind. Just accept the positive things, just accept the positive things. Okay, because there's the exam schedule and you are supposed to perform, you are expected to perform well. You can do it. I am saying you can do it. Why? Because the students cannot do because they are going to listen everything, and that is no from every angle. No, 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 no. There is no one here to say that you can do it. I'm saying you, I'm your trainer, I'm your tutor. I'm saying you can do it, because I know every one of you, you are at the professional level. That means you have passed your knowledge in the skills module. You are a champion. You are a good person. You can do it. That's it. Very simple. Now, these are the all professional skills to be applied here. 4 marks, 4 marks in this, 4 marks for the communication, and that is the formatting. And the rest of the 3 skills were 6 marks. That will be collectively 10 marks, right? 10 marks. Now, I cannot break up these 6 marks that all the way. There is an analysis. There is the expectation that 2, 2, and 2 could be examined, but nobody can say it very confidently with the absolute assurance. Nobody can say it. Why? Because it depends on the requirement. So you need to understand it. I'll help you out when I will be solving this question number 1 today. I will help you out to do this. Okay, now other 3 skills, 6 marks, communication, 4 marks. And in question number 2 and question number 3, 3 skills are required to be applied. That is skepticism, analysis and evaluation, commercial acumen. Skepticism along with the judgment. All right. So one thing you people are, I'm assuming to some extent you are relaxed down that how these professional marks will be split into the exam. Now this is the thing. Now let's proceed. Again, this is the very important. This is a very important document. Remember, that was a teaser of the professional skills, and this is the detailed thing. And I have extracted these things from the professional skills file, which has been published by ACCA. Right? This is not the thing I have tagged myself. This is from the ACCA, that how to apply professional marks in AAA paper. Section A question in AAA will always ask for a testing of briefing notes, and briefing notes I have already told you that it is for 4 marks. I'm now highlighting the important point so that we can move ahead for the technical side as well. The report should have appropriate headings and subheadings and brief introduction. I have seen many of the students, they are not writing the briefing introduction. They are writing the briefing introduction as if you are appearing in your schooling level of system. No, you are the senior level in the audit firm, right? You need to write the structured pattern of the briefing note, use the heading and subheading. See that this is being taught by ACCA. I'm not teaching this. This is being taught by ACCA, which explain the content, the report to follow. Content, the report to follow. Candidates' response in the body of the format should look professional. use appropriate language. That means the official language. That means the official language. I mean some more formal words. If I'm saying, but anyways, no, however is more appropriate. I'm saying that, but what if, no, however, this could also be possible. So writing in a professional manner, looking for more formal words, clear and effective. It is vital that report content is relevant to the requirement and a specific instruction. So this is the communication skill which is already, I have told you, it will be examined for 4 marks, right? It will be examined for 4 marks. That's in question number 1. Simply as that. Now, analysis and evaluation. This is a very important thing. If you can just absorb what is being written here, I will be highlighting the key and important area so that you will be focusing on those professional skills. Remember, there is one more confusion. I have received the WhatsApp message from the student, not today, previously, that is there any that professional marks will be examined separately? Not at all. It will be embedded in the question. It will not be examined separately. It will be examined. It will be combined up. It will be combined up in the technical skills. Now I am addressing the questions without taking the name of the student. I'm just addressing the question. Yes, this is the first window in this September attempt where these professional marks will be examined. Yes, the recordings of this webinar will be available to you later on. It would be uploaded in the YouTube channel of ACCA. You can go and you can subscribe to the ACCA YouTube channel. And secondly, ACCA Pakistan YouTube channel, yes. And secondly, you can join our WhatsApp group. I will also be sharing the link of that thing. The WhatsApp group is already shared in this question box. Don't worry, it will be shared again. And one more question is that identify the business risk. I should also consider my firm involved or applies on the commercial acumen skill. Yes, that's a very important question. Now, whenever there is a business requirement, business risk, you need to focus on the client business risk. You need to focus on the client business risk, right? You need to focus on the client business risk, client business, commercial acumen. When it comes to the audit firm, then you need to focus on the commercial acumen from the side of the audit firm. Okay. Now I will be demonstrating that thing accordingly when the question will be in front of you. Okay. Now all the AAA question will include the professional skills. Okay, analysis and evaluation. That means you need to evaluate the information which is already available. Information which is already available, right? And this is the assessment of financial reporting issues of the client. Please mark this thing. Financial reporting issues. Financial reporting issues is a very important thing. Why? Because in question number 2, let's say there would be the financial reporting issue, and the question will definitely be examined that analyze this information, comment on the matters, and what if this issue, this material misstatement is not resolved? What will be the impact on the audit report? Now that's your evaluation, and simultaneously your professional judgment skills will also be applied. That according to your professional judgment, what would be the impact on the audit report, right? So this is the number 1, that is the thing, that is the financial reporting issues. The ethical issues is yet another topic. The ethical issues. This is the financial reporting issues, right? So the issues are of financial reporting. The issues of ethics. So candidates need to ensure that any recommendation are relevant to this point of engagement. So you need to identify, you need to analyze the issue, you need to analyze the issue. Remember that you need to analyze the issue. You need to understand the matter. You need to analyze the issue, right? Okay. So whenever you are going to analyze that issue, I'm also receiving the WhatsApp messages. I will be responding accordingly. Don't worry. based on the time. After evaluation, you have to recommend. After analysis, you have to recommend what future actions should be taken. It is important that candidates should ensure that analysis is contextual and must take that situation. You have to apply your case study. That is the application. That is application on the case, right? Analysis done by appropriate use of information, suitable calculation to support your evaluation. Calculations, that means X percentage of materiality. That means X percentage of materiality you need to focus on, right? The ability to draw the conclusion. You need to draw the conclusion that what is the final outcome, final conclusion of your analysis, of your evaluation, final outcome of your conclusion. And then appropriate responses or actions can be proposed. Identifying the data, and that means full evaluation or understanding the team and evaluation. I'm just highlighting the important point, okay, so that we can further move on. And that is evaluation is based on the appraisal. For example, if client does not amend the material misstatement, the impact on the audit report. And when there is an implication on the audit report, the implication on the audit report, you all know that audit report, when it will be the modified opinion, it may be qualified adverse or the disclaimer. So you are the one, you are the auditor, you are the one who should judge whether it is material or the pervasive. So when there is the implication on the audit report, so that means implication, that means there is the sign that your audit report would be modified. So you need to focus on ISA 706, you need to focus on ISA 705, that is EOM and OM you need to focus on. And in ISA 705 there are 3 different opinions, like your qualified, like your adverse, and your disclaimer opinion. Now do not embarrass me that you don't know these opinions, since you are here to learn the tricks to apply these skills onto the exam, and you're well aware of these facts. So these are the evaluation. You can just note down that analysis and evaluation will be applied for the issues, and issues would be examined in question number 1, 2, and 3 respectively. I cannot say where the issues will be examined, but mostly it will be in the question number 2 and 3, right? Now let's moving next. Let's moving towards the next thing. The next thing is that of the skepticism and judgment. Skepticism and judgment. And one more important thing, that judgment is, that means application. Judgment means application of your knowledge and experience. Knowledge and your experience. And you know where to apply the judgment. See, this is my professional judgment in the capacity of the external auditor, that this audit will take approximately 3 months, 4 months. 20 people are enough in the audit team. Whether we need to take the auditing expert with ourselves. So the application will be used in deciding the materiality. It will be used to decide the team. It will be used to decide the time. It will be used to decide the sampling technique. These are the matters. Not only these are the matters, these are the matters where the judgment skills will be applied. Most importantly, the materiality. Most importantly, the procedures. Most importantly, the procedures. And this is the decision making. Listen, judgment is actually the skill which you need to apply for the future decision making. Let's say this webinar is scheduled at 8:30 p.m. based on Pakistani Standard Time, and you are well aware of the fact that you need to get ready 15 minutes or 10 minutes before. It's your professional judgment to open up the laptop and all the things you need to decide. So you are the auditor, you need to take the decision making for the audit. So these are the important matters where these are the matters where you need to apply the judgment skills. And skepticism, you all know, that is to have a very sharp mind. You need to apply the skepticism skills. You have to be neutral, you have to be independent, you have to focus on what is right, what is wrong. You need to assume that management is honest or dishonest, and you need to keep yourself neutral, and you need to apply this skepticism skills by having a questioning attitude. Now, a very important thing, very important thing, significant risk, upper spectrum of risk. I will be demonstrating this upper spectrum of risk. These are the things, don't you worry. This is a very carefully designed presentation for today. You need to apply these skills while writing the significant risk, okay? And candidates should be prioritizing the most significant risk first, the most important requirement. I'm talking about question number 1 requirement, which were approximately 20 to 25 marks. And this is a very much important, very much important requirement, right? Now, I will be discussing this thing later on in this presentation today. Information may come from the client, such as the basis of provision or the base provision. Yes, IS 37. Basis of amortization. No, this is not need to discuss. Let's move ahead, because I'm more interested to go ahead and apply these things onto the question. Commercial acumen. Commercial acumen is used while assessing the business risk. Okay. Competition of the future business. Factors affecting the, yes, external constraint and opportunities. Think like a businessman. Okay. And impact of the engagement on the audit firm. See what I have told you earlier in this slide, that you need to focus on the business of the client, you need to focus on the audit firm. That's it. What would be the impact of the engagement in the audit firm? This may be relevant in the scenario where evaluation whether or not to accept an engagement. For example, where audit firm is happy to be associated with the client or the industry. Let's say for example, there is a new audit engagement. Let's say for example, and previously there are the legal cases against me on grounds of money laundering, on grounds of illegal activities. So you need to focus on what would be the impact on your audit from the business. You are the audit from the business. What will be the impact on your audit firm if you will associated with me? If you will be associated with me in the capacity of the auditor, what would be the impact? Obviously, when I am doing something illegal or unethical, and you will be attached with me in the capacity of the auditor, obviously there will be the impact on your audit firm. Your reputation can go down, that this is the client where there are money laundering cases, and you are auditing that client. Even after knowing the fact, you are accepting that engagement. That the organization people are full of corruption. For example, I'm doing the tax evasion, for example, and the client, not me, Haris Arif, I'm just giving the example in the capacity of the client. So when the client company is engaged in money laundering, unethical, illegal activities, and if you will accept that engagement, there will be negative impact on you. It quite may be possible that the rating of your firm can go down. So that would be the impact. And I have told you that commercial acumen, you need to focus on number 1, the client company, and number 2 is the firm. But think like a businessman. Okay. So these are the things which I had to discuss with you people. Yes, the question is that we automatically consider the impact on the audit report when the client does not amend the financial statement. Yes, you are absolutely right. But in this application, you need to extend your conversation. You need to expand your answer with more and more upcoming future possible outcomes, right, Mr. Akin? Is it right? Is it now clear to you what I have told you right now, what I have responded you? Yes, future outcomes. Future outcomes. Yes, future outcomes. Yes, the future outcomes, you need to focus on the future outcomes. Yes, exactly. Okay, now let's proceed with the question number 1, major requirement. Now the technical area along with the application of the professional skills is going to start right now. The major requirement is the risk assessment. The major requirement is the risk assessment, and remember that the risk, I am now going to split the risk into two categories. The risk I'm now into two categories. I'm now splitting the risk into two categories. Number 1 is the business risk, and number 2 is the audit risk. Now that's all for the 20 professional marks. I will appreciate that if you people respond here. Yes, it's similar to the other paper as well, that you need to apply the professional skills, Mr. Yash Chaudhary. I will appreciate all of you that will you please come on to the question box and give me your feedback, because feedback is very much important according to my professional judgment, whether you understand this thing, so that I will be continuing with this technical aspect. The application of the professional marks, is it now clear to you? Can you please give me your feedback here? I'm not expecting the answer from few students. Will you please, all of you, will you please write in the question box your feedback, whether you understand all these things? Okay, fine. That's fine. Okay, Naya Bhaiya, okay, was there any question of yours, Mr. Naya Bhaiya? Can you please write your question once again? Okay, I will be repeating commercial acumen. Just give me a minute. Okay. I will be explaining other assignments, not today. Why? Because other assignment is not covered in today's agenda. I will be discussing it in the in the next upcoming days. And your question is that, yes, I'm going to apply the practical application right now, immediately after 1-2 minutes after addressing these questions. Yes, Hafiz Mohammed Hassan, it will be available here. It will be available in ACCA Pakistan YouTube channel. Janish Mystery, yes, I'm going to apply this thing. Okay, I will, because see that predicting the important requirements for the exam is not the good thing. In AAA paper, I have written down the frequently examined requirement. Just focus on those requirements. You will be able to clear the paper. Right now, I'm based on the request commercial acumen. I'm repeating the commercial acumen very quickly. See that while applying the commercial acumen skill, you need to think like a businessman. Let's say for example, you need to think for two businesses. Number 1, I am the client, Haris Tanik Limited, and while writing the business risk, I'm going to apply the business risk requirement here, right? While writing the business risk, you need to think of my business. And you need to think of your business. You are the audit firm, you need to think of your business as well. Okay, so this is the thing, you need to apply the commercial acumen. I'm going to demonstrate it with the application on the question now. And second one is the audit risk. And audit risk includes number 1, number 2. Audit risk includes number 1, ROMM, which is the risk of material misstatements, which includes inherent risk and control risk. And number 2 is the DR, which is the detection risk. Okay, so this is the risk assessment. Now, risk means what can go wrong. What can go wrong? what can go wrong. That means you have to think the negative aspect. Now, be patient. Now the practical questions are going to start here. Risk means what can go wrong, what can go wrong. Business risk is the risk that entity is not able to achieve its objectives. Business risk is the risk that entity is not able to achieve its objectives, right? And note that while writing the business risk, you need to think from three different perspectives. Number one, financial. Number two, operational. And number three is the non-compliance. Number three is the non-compliance, right? You need to think for these two perspectives, three perspectives. Number one, financially. Number two, operationally. And number three is the non-compliance. Number three is the non-compliance, right? You need to, okay, Leonid. Okay, Leonid Shava. Okay, I will be showing this briefing note. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I will be showing this briefing note. Financial, operational, and non-compliance. You need to think from these three different perspectives while writing the business risk. Now, exam focus. Exam focus. There may be the requirement in the case study, that is evaluate the business risk. The question is expressly saying. To evaluate the business risk. That is, you need to apply the analysis and evaluation skills. Answer drafting. Make sure to be very much case specific. Think of related industry practice. Use your commercial acumen skills. Logical flow of the answer. Logical. You need to focus on these matters while writing the answer of the business risk, right? While writing the answer of the business risk, you need to think these things very much case specific. Industry practice, commercial acumen skills, and logical flow of the answer. Example, from one of the past papers, the company imports the key raw material from overseas supplier. What is the business risk? What is the business risk? I will be drafting my answer here, but before writing or drafting the answer, I will be writing how to draft the answer. In business risk, it should cover matter. Yes, what is the matter? You need to start your discussion from the matter, and then you need to write the risk. Risk means what can go wrong to the business. Please, while writing the business risk, do not focus on financial statements. You need to focus on the financial statements when you are writing the audit risk. You are writing the risk of material misstatements. But right now, you are writing the business risk. You need to focus what can go wrong in the business, plus a very, very important thing. That is the impact. That is the impact onto the business. And remember that impact, you need to write more critically, more commercially sound judgment. Use your most commercially sound judgment. And you need to write the impact in the present plus in the future. Impact. I will be summarizing all the professional skills in a single word, but not now. Later on, I will be summarizing all the things. So please note down this drafting style, that you need to write the matter first. What is the matter? That is the given matter in the case study, and this business risk will be for 2 marks. Right? Matter, and then risk. That means what can go wrong with the business. And the impact, that you must need to write the impact. You must need to write down the impact. If you will not be writing the impact, so there are chances that you will not be gaining the sufficient or the marks which you were expecting. Okay, so you must need to write down the impact. So this is the answer drafting style. You need to make sure that these elements would be covered in your answer. These all elements would be covered in your answer. You need to make sure. Okay, matter, risk, impact. I'm repeating once again, impact is the very important thing for every kind of the requirement, right? Now this is the example from one of the past paper. The company imports the key material. See that the important point is that key raw material from the overseas supplier. Then definitely this supplier would be in the foreign. It would be in another country. And what would be the business risk? Now think of the business. Right? I will be typing my answer right here. That what could be the impact? What is the matter actually? What is the matter? The company, I will be writing that the company. Now you need to write the name of the company. Here it is not mentioned. The company is importing the raw material. Now use the more professional tone. The company is importing the raw material, which is the key. You need to use the inverted comma if you wish to. That is the emphasizing on the word key, and that is now I am using the commercial acumen sense. The company is importing the raw material, which is the key to the company and is necessary for the production. This is the matter. I have extended it. The company is importing the raw material, which is key to the company and is necessary for the production. Now what is the risk? Here? What is the risk? You need to think that what can go wrong with this import activity. See that there is a risk of a time delay, because since you are importing, see that imagine that you are sitting in country A and you are importing it from country B. So there may be the timing issue. Yes, there may be the timing issue. It may be receiving late. Okay, next impact, next risk. What can go wrong? It may be possible that there may be the adverse movement in your currency exchange rates. If so, then you need to pay more. For example, there is the adverse movement. In your currency, and the dollar is getting expensive or cheaper, whatever. So it may be possible. That you need to pay more. Now that is the impact. Right? That is the impact. So I'm saying that it may be possible. Do not give the absolute statement that it will be. You should use the word it may. It may be possible. It may be possible that there may be adverse movements in the currency exchange rate, and if this import activity, now see that this statement which I'm going to write, if this import activity is not hedged, and you all know that when there is a hedging, that regarding the currency exchange, so this is not the advice, this is the critical evaluation. If this would be possible, you have to elaborate your answer, right? You have to elaborate your answer. And for this thing, if this import activity would not be hedged, then company has to pay more, and it would lower down the profitability. Now see that this lowering down the profitability, is the impact. It is the impact. This is not the risk. Risk is that there would be the adverse movement in the currency exchange rate. This would be the risk. This would be counted as the risk, and this would be the impact, which would lower down the profitability of the company, right? And in addition, you need to write more. In addition, it quite may be possible that in the country, this kind of a product may be banned to import. It may be possible that import duty or the taxes would be increased because of the economical condition. It may be possible that government may ban certain products or certain commodities to be imported. So it may also be possible. And yes, to be very much practical, in the year following the year of 2020, 2021, there may be some pandemic disease like COVID. It may be possible that the import may be suspended. So your important key raw material is on the way. And if you will not be receiving that material, you will not be able to produce it. And if you will not be able to produce it, what will you sell? This is the important thing to be mentioned. This is your commercial acumen. Think like a businessman. In addition, it may be possible that taxes or any import duty might be increased, and so financially the company would be burdenized. And again, the profitability would be reduced. And yes, it quite may be possible when your profit will be lower down, it may impact the share price. That is the impact. Thinking more and more from the business perspective, but once again keeping the time management in mind as well. And it may be one of the reason of lowering the share price in the market, and when your share price is getting reduced, obviously your business value is decreasing. Now that is the commercial acumen sense. Share price in the market and lowering the entire business value. It may be the impact. Furthermore, do not exaggerate much more. I'm writing one more thing because you need to think more and more, and I'm training you accordingly how to think more and more, right? I'm training you accordingly how to think more and more. So I'm writing here, furthermore, in case of any pandemic disease, the import may be suspended, and so if the import is suspended for the time being, let's say for example, and so it would be the major constraint for the production, and so it would be the major constraint for the production, and ultimately sales would be negatively affected and losing the customers in the future, right? So this I had written down. And you can also write if there is any already signed, if there is an already signed sales agreement, already signed agreement with the customer, it could be result in the penalty. So this is thinking far more beyond the boundaries. It would be thinking outside the box. You need to think outside the boundary. That's will be the commercial agreement. And obviously you need to focus on the time management as well. So here I am ending this answer. I am just ending this answer here, so that I can focus on that. I'm focusing on the key raw material which is necessary for the production. This is the thing. It may be possible, and this is the risk. This is the risk, and if your risk will be materialized, then your profitability could be reduced. Now this is the impact. In the yellow shaded area, I am writing the impact. Lowering the share price in the market and lowering the entire business value. This is the impact. Why I have written the business value? Because this is the key raw material, and if you are not able to import, you cannot produce, and if it would be expensive. And here it is written that if this import activity would not be hedged, hedging is the activity to reduce the future expected losses. And if it would be the case that this activity would not be hedged, then it quite maybe it is not recommended. You are not giving the advice that hedge from now onwards you should hedge. I'm writing that if it would not be hedged, this would be the possible impact, then negatively affecting and losing the customers in the future. These all are the things which I had highlighted with the yellow color. This would be the impact. And totally I can suggest you, I can suggest all of you that think for at least 2 risks and think for at least 2 impacts, and this would constitute you 2 marks. This would be 2 marks for it. Okay, writing 1 risk would give you 2 marks. And obviously, yes, there is a challenge. There would be the challenge for you. There would be the challenge for you for the typing. Obviously, you should have a very good and sound typing speed. Since you are at the professional level, you should have a very good and sound typing speed. You have cleared your skills paper, and you can clear this paper as well. I'm giving you the positive vibes. Yes, you can do it. Now this was the business risk. Now let's move ahead. This is the financial statement assertion. I will not be discussing these assertions like I'm teaching to AA student, since you already know this financial statement assertions, but I will be giving a very quick recap, because it is very much important that we should analyze the risk and to be connected the risk with the financial statement assertions. If you will not be relating to the financial statement assertions, then your answer seems to be incomplete, or it will not adding any value in your answer. Assertion is anything which is the impression in the financial statements, or you can say these are the declarations. These are the declarations in the financial statements by BOD, Board of Directors. And when auditor will have to think for the financial statements, I'm writing one thing, that whenever you need to think of the financial statements, please think of 2 things. That is the accounting standards. And the related assertions. Now there is a very strong relationship between the accounting standard and the assertions. Allocation and classification, that means writing up the thing in the correct accounting head. That is, for example, inventory is the asset. Yes, inventory is the asset and it is the current asset. Depreciation is allocated. Depreciation is allocated to tangible NCA. Depreciation is allocated to tangible NCA. Classification is the writing in a proper heads. Completeness means everything is perfect, completely recorded. Accuracy means total is all okay. That is 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. It's all okay. Cutoff means that is ACCA cover P, allocation, classification, completeness, accuracy, cutoff. Cutoff means everything is recorded in correct accounting periods. Correct accounting period. Occurrence. Occurrence means recorded transactions is real. That is not fake. Valuation means everything is right now its appropriate value. For example, inventory is valued at lower of cost or NRV. There is a fair value, there is a cost value, there is a net book value. There are many appropriate values. So everything on its appropriate values. Everything is on its appropriate values, like fair value, like net realizable value, like you can say par value. All right. Now, I hope that you do understand what valuation means. Existence means something which is physically present. Rights and obligation shows the ownership, and this is the presentation of the of the information. Like when you are presenting the income statement, that means there should be sale, cost of sale, gross profit, and all that stuff. This is the presentation. Now, these are the assertions which are from the side of the management, and you need to critically evaluate all these assertions. You need to, yes, you need to mention these assertions while writing ROMM, risk of material misstatement. You need to mention these assertions, right? Now, these are the assertions, and there is a very strong relationship between assertions and the accounting. If I can say that there is an accounting standard which is IFRS 15, that is revenue recognition. That is, revenue is recognized when the performing condition is met. When the performing condition is met, it is when the performing condition is met. That means it is trying to relate to the date. That is date. Revenue will be recognized when the performing condition is met according to IFRS 15, and that means the assertion is yes, assertion is cut off. So it should be recorded in the proper time period. That is, the assertion is cut off. Now I'm giving you the verbal examples. That is inventory. IS2 says that inventory should be valued at lower of cost or NRV, right? IS2 says that inventory should be valued at lower of cost NRV. Now this is the requirement of IS2, and the assertion is valuation. Giving you one more example. IS38, yes, IS38, you have studied it. IS38 says that research should be expensed out in the profit and loss, and development after meeting certain criteria, it should be capitalized. It should be capitalized. Now the assertion is the classification. Assertion is the classification, right? Assertion is the classification. When the revenue will be recognized, when the performing condition is met, when the goods and services are being delivered. Assertion cutoff. Now there is a very strong relationship between the accounting standards and the assertions. Now, this is the audit risk. You are familiar with the audit risk definition. I'm not going to teach it like if I'm teaching to AA student. I'm just having a very quick recap. There is a risk that auditor can express the inappropriate opinion, and audit risk is the combination of these three risks. And this is the financial statement risk, or ROMM, or we can say financial statement risk. And this is the detection risk. This is the detection risk, which is the auditor's concern. But it is the auditor's concern, right? Now, the very important thing is that, which I observe many of the students ignore, that is the spectrum of risk. That is the spectrum of risk which is being examined, and which is expected from your side to answer accordingly, which is also covered in a significant risk. In the old papers of AAA, it was a requirement, that is, evaluate the financial statements, or ROM, evaluate the risk of material misstatements. But right now, The requirement is evaluate the significant risk of material misstatement. So you need to focus it. That is the inherent and the control risk. Inherent risk is that something which is inherently risky, like the complexity of the transactions, like the judgmental figures. So I'm not reading this definition because it's a very basic thing, but I have written down this definition for you guys so that you will be able to read it, not to memorize it, because AAA is the exam which is full of application. So this is the inherent risk. I'm just giving you the simple clear-cut explanation of inherent risk. Let's say that there is a complex accounting treatment. Let's say IFRS 9 financial instrument. It is perceived to be complex from many of the students, and so it is inherently risky. Secondly, the accounting figures, which is based on purely the judgment of the management. I am the management, Haris Hanif, and you guys the auditor. Keep it very practical. You people are the auditor and I'm the management, right? Now, point to be noted is that if I will be making the provision that is inherently risky from my side, that how can I exactly estimate the provision? That's an inherent risk. Control risk. Control risk is that there might be problems from the side of yours. There may be the problem from the side of yours, me, the client entity, and the controls are not able to prevent the misstatements. Controls, and that is a control risk. And where is the control risk? Okay. Now, detection risk. Detection risk is that, okay, I'm noticing that one, two students are asking for the break. Don't you people worry, I'm giving you the break. But after the end of this discussion and after the break, I will be explaining the very important thing, that is a spectrum. But first, let me discuss this detection risk. Detection risk is that risk that auditor is not able. Let's say, for example, that there are some documents in my hand. Let's say, for example, and I'm the auditor. I'm not able to detect where is the misstatement. Okay, I'm not able to detect where is the misstatement. This is the detection risk. This is the detection risk. I'm not able to detect where is the misstatement. I'm not able to detect where is the misstatement. This is the detection risk. Examples. It quite may be possible that example include number one, the sampling risk. The sampling risk that your sample does not contain the material misstatement. Your sample does not contain the material misstatement. That means you are not able to detecting it. That means your sample size is low. You need to increase your sample size. Number two example is the non-sampling risk. Non-sampling risk is that, like, lack of time, few audit staff, first client. All these gives rise to the detection risk. Now, students, in the question number one, which I'm going to discuss, which is a very important subject matter, as far as the remaining time is concerned, so I'm foreseeing that the question number one may not be completed even the risk requirement today. It will be carried down tomorrow as well. So have some patience. We need to focus on the quality of the learning, right? So these are the detection risks. Now, detection risk is that auditor is not able to detect the material misstatement that may be present in the financial statements. Spectrum of risk. These are the noting factors, and these are the exam focus. These are the factors. These are the factors you need to closely focus on while writing the significant risk. The spectrum of risk, I will be explaining it, right? So according to my time zone, it is 10:05 p.m. So I am giving you the break of just 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes. So I will be resuming it at I will be resuming it at 10:25 p.m. That's EST. Now, whatever your time zone is, you can calculate 20 minutes from now that I will be resuming it back, okay? But must join on time, all right? Now take the break. Hello students, we are back from the break and I would like to confirm once again, am I audible? My voice, screen and video is all clear. Can you please confirm me once again so that I can proceed with this very important requirement? Will you please confirm me in the question box? Everybody, will you please confirm me? Break is over. We are now back from the break. Okay, now that's fine. That's good. Now, since we have almost 1 hour remaining for this today's class, and now I will be explaining what spectrum is, because I will not be opening the entire article. Probably you might have gone through it already. So I just need to summarize these things from the technical article and this, giving you the summary and giving you what you are expected to do here, and then I will be opening this platform, ACCA practice platform, where we will be discussing this question. Okay, and this is the question from the specimen exam. See that specimen exam is very much important, and you already know that uh, what are the resources available at the ACCA practice platform. That is 2 practice questions, 1 mock and 1 CB exam. I strongly recommend all of you. I strongly recommend all of you. I will strongly recommend all of you must follow and practice those questions. ठीक है ना? Must practice and follow those questions. Okay, now this is the very important thing, that you should practice the thing on the platform. You should know how the windows are working, how the questions will be examined, and then it will be really help you out to perform in the exam right now. All right, now I am now going to discuss this thing first, what spectrum actually is, what spectrum actually is, and then I will be opening this thing. Okay, now spectrum of inherent risk. Now what is the spectrum of inherent risk? The inherent risk spectrum involves the consideration of likelihood of misstatement, that means percentage chances, and number 2 is the impact of the misstatements. Impact I should write the impact on financial statements. Think of upper side of the spectrum. Upper side of a spectrum, what do you mean by this thing? If I can draw up like this thing and place the impact over here, and this is the likelihood, this is the thing, which is low and this is low. You need to play at the upper category, that is this thing and this thing. See that this is the upper spectrum, this thing is the upper spectrum. Okay, with a smiley face. Okay, this is the upper spectrum. You need to play at the upper spectrum category. Number 1, you should need to focus this risk, because this is here where likelihood is high and the impact is high. Secondly, here the likelihood is low but the impact is actually high. The impact is high. You need to play at the upper spectrum, first this and second this, right? First this, and do not focus on these risks, because there are many risks which are lower in the category, and these are the least important. So you need to focus on you should need to focus on the upper side of the spectrum risk. You should need to focus on the upper side of the spectrum risk, and Now, what are the general factors to determine upper spectrum of inherent risk? These are the risks which you should need to focus on, at your utmost top priority. You should need to focus on at your top priority, the upper side of the spectrum risk. Now, what is the inherent risk and upper risk? Upper risk, simple as that. Keep it very simple and natural. It's not something difficult as such. It is something that is which risk to be prioritized. I have explained you in that professional marks, and it is also being gonna applied here in this platform. When this question will be, I will start this question today. I will be starting this question today. Okay, so don't you worry. So what are the factors which determine the upper side of the spectrum? That is something which is complex, something which is based on the judgment, something which is significant, something which is significantly gonna impact to the financial statements. I am giving you few more examples, more and more examples, so that it will be very easy for you. It will be very easy for you to identify from the case study. Something which is complex, judgment, significantly impacting the financial statements, something which is change of accounting policies, accounting policies. You can say when there is a accounting, IS 8 accounting estimates. That is very upper spectrum of the risk. That is which impacts the financial statement most. Impact. Because ultimately the financial statement is being prepared for the users, and those are the shareholders. And for them, for shareholders, keeping in mind the shareholders, because since you are the agent of shareholders, right? So you should think of your principal. In exam, this is the exam focused requirement: identify and evaluate significant audit risk or ROMM. Significant. What do you mean by the term significant? And these are the factors. Identify significant audit risk and ROMM. You should need to write down the significant risk. And there is an exam tip as well. I will be summarizing this thing. Answer drafting in the audit risk, you just need to show where calculation, where the materiality is, focus on the professional skills, skepticism and judgment, analysis and evaluation. While writing the audit risk, listen to me very carefully. While writing the audit risk, your two skills are important. You shall need to apply. Let's go back. Significant risk, significant. That is very much significant. What are the factors which are close to upper end of a spectrum? Which are close to the upper end of the spectrum? Circumstances of the entity, that is the entity surrounding in a, let's say I'm giving you the example, circumstances of the entity is very highly competitive industry, and when the industry is highly competitive, for example, there are 100 companies in the industry, let's say, and I am one of them, and I am ABC Limited. In this competitive industry, every company is trying to attract the investors, attracting the best and capable employees, very healthy customers, profitable customers, and there is the inherent potential to overstate the financial statements, because investors are attracted with return on capital employed. Investors are attracted with the return on capital employed, and it quite may be possible that financial statements may be overstated. Financial statement may be overstated in order to present healthy financial statement in front of the investors and shareholders. Your professional judgment of the auditor, that according to your professional judgment, this is inherently risky. This is risky. Your professional judgment. Some inherently risky areas like accounting estimates, like provision, related party transaction. This is one of the highlighted inherent risk. Related party transaction, that is IS 24. Issue of going concern, and the issue with the going concern is that the company may be facing the going concern doubt, and there is a risk of lack of disclosure. There is a risk of lack of disclosure. Fraud risk factor, it's ISA 240 fraud risk factor, cutoff of revenue, because when revenue will be overstated, ultimately it will leave the impact onto the profitability. So these are the risks which are significant. These are the risks which are the significant. Next, detection risk is the significant, like your new audit client. Management bias. Let's say, for example, there is a case of a private company and the company is going to be listed. It is a management bias that in order to obtain the listing, let's say, for example, there is one more example in the past ACCA AAA exam, that there is a company which is listed in this current year and going to be listed in the other countries in the foreign stock exchange. There is a management bias that to obtain the successful listing status, they may overstate the financial statement. Management bias. Let's say one more example. When the bonuses, when there are some personal interest, at the expense of the shareholders, management may be getting biased. Let's say, for example, the directors are being bonused. And the bonus is based on profit after tax. Now, there is a management potential to overstate the profit after tax. For example, when board of directors bonus is based on profit, and now this is a very management bias. Now this is not something, management bias is the heading used by the examiner in the past paper. I have summarized all the things from the article, the past papers. Management lack of expertise to prepare the financial statements. It quite may be possible that in the scenario it is written that there is no suitable candidate with the thorough experience and the knowledge of the financial statements. It is one of the case study in question number 2 or 3 kind of a question, that in the management team there's a lack of financial expertise. So obviously this gives rise to the risk of a material misstatement. Inherently complex transaction, like you can say IFRS, you can say like IFRS 9 financial instrument. I'm writing like any other financial statements transactions. Changes in accounting policies or estimates like IS 8, where to apply retrospectively, where to apply prospectively, it quite may be possible. Now we will be further discussing these things. Now this is the thing, these are the things which are the significant audit risk or significant risk of material misstatements. Significant, focus on the word significant, that means which is very much important, very much important, right? Which is very much important for you to identify. I would highly appreciate all of you that you should read these things once again, because whenever there is a significant risk, you can go through the question number 1, most recently examined questions, and we will be starting this question number 1 in a few minutes. So these are the things which would be common in most of the questions, not necessarily all the questions, most of the questions. Just go through it once again with your thorough attention, so that I will be moving forward. All right. Now identify and evaluate the significant risk. I focus on the word significant very significantly. Now, summarizing the significant audit risk. Summarizing all the significant audit risk. Remember that. Summarizing all the significant audit risk. What is the significant audit risk? In a summary, what is the significant audit risk? If I can summarize all the significant audit risk, I can simply recommend you to think these things, all these things must have strong relation with the case. Significant audit risk, if you can make a summary, and this summary is extracted from the article. Now, number one is something which is the judgmental figure. Judgmental figures like provisions. Okay, something which is detection risk. Detection risk is important, significant. Something which is of high materiality. High materiality. And one more important thing, something which is non-routine. Something which is non-routine. I am giving you the example of non-routine. Let's say, for example, the company had obtained the bank loan 3 years back, and you are doing the audit in this current year. It's a non-routine activity because it has taken 3 years back. It has 3 years back. It is something which has impact over the next years. It is not something which is especially in this year. Let's say, for example, I am making a warranty provision. See, now the very important thing, I'm connecting this thing with this non-routine activity. Non-routine. You should focus on the non-routine things. Provision is inherently risky. Warranty provision is an ongoing thing, but I am having a legal case which involves the provision of a penalty, and it is something non-routine because having the legal case as a claim is not a routine thing. It's a non-routine activity. So you should need to focus on these things. Focus on these things. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and all these things must have a very strong relationship with the case study. This is a very important thing. These things must have a should have a strong relationship with the case study, right? With a given case. Now let's proceed and answer drafting in the risk of material misstatement and the audit risk. Your answer should cover all these elements, preferably in the following serial manner. You should write, I'm doing it Zoom. You should write first the matter plus correct accounting treatment plus risk of wrong treatment, that is what can go wrong. Shall I make it clear? Shall I make it much more simpler? I'm giving you simple example. There is a lot of closing inventory. Let's assume there is a lot of closing inventory. This is the matter. According to IS 2, it should be valued at lower of cost NRV. Now this is the accounting treatment. Risk of wrong treatment. Risk is something which is the reversal of this, which is the reverse of correct accounting. Risk is something which is the reverse of the correct accounting. The important point is that if you are successfully able to think of the correct accounting treatment, you can simply write the procedures as well as the risk of material misstatement. Having the accounting standard is very important thing that should be close to your heart. Okay, think of the accounting from your mind. Think of the accounting from your mind. The risk will come out from your heart. Okay, think of the risk from your mind. Your risk will come out from your heart automatically. And remember my words, if you are able to think, that if you are able to think that what is the correct accounting, make it reverse, it would become risk. Okay, I'm repeating my dialogue again. Think from the accounting from your mind, the risk will come out from your heart. Okay, the marking scheme is that this would collectively will give you 3 marks. Collectively when you will be writing where necessary. Sorry, the impact on the financial statement. Yes, remember the 4-step model. Number 1, matter. Number 2, correct accounting. Number 3, the risk of the wrong treatment. And number 4, impact on the financial statements. And when you are writing the impact on the financial statements, you should focus on accounting plus its related assertion. This is a very important thing, and this is the area which is often neglected by most of the students. They are not writing it impact. Must write the impact. And note, where necessary, calculate and show the materiality level. And collectively it could give you 3 marks. Collectively it will give you 2 marks. Collectively it may give you even 4 marks depending on the matter. It's 3 marks with the materiality percentage. Okay, now this is a very important thing. I am waiting just few seconds. If you people want to take the screenshot, if people want to copy, that's totally up to you. I am waiting just few seconds. All right. Now, students, now I'm going for the next. This is the last slide of my today's presentation, and then I will be switching towards this platform. I have already opened it. Okay, I have already opened it. We need to discuss question number 1. This is the example, and this is the example I have extracted from the past paper so that you will be able to understand how the answer should look like. There is a legal case against the company by the competitor against copyright issue, and the amount is 60 million. Total assets are 750 million. Let's say, for example, now why this figure is given in order to calculate the materiality. Now, if you will be calculating the materiality, 60 divided by 750, 60 divided by 750, it's giving you 8% of total asset. And remember the benchmark of the materiality. That is 5% profit before tax. I am writing the mostly used materiality level, that is from 1 to 2% of total assets, and that is 0.5 to 1% of revenue, that is 5% of profit before tax. All these are the starting point of materiality, starting point of materiality, right? Now audit risk is right here. Audit risk is right here. Remember the 4-step model: meta, correct accounting treatment, risk of wrong treatment, and the impact. And most importantly, focus on the professional skills like skepticism and judgment, analysis and evaluation, right? Analysis and evaluation. Now I'm drafting this answer over here. I will be drafting this answer right here so that you would be able to understand how your answer should look like. I'm writing that there is a legal case against the company in breach of some copyright issue. That means company does not seem to comply with the legal requirement, and so if found in breach, then financial statements should reflect accordingly. Now this is what the matter is, and try to extend your matter. IS 37, IS 37. Now I am giving the reference of IS 37, and most importantly, if you are not able to memorize which accounting standard is this, please do not write the wrong number. Do not write the wrong number, because there is no mark available to write down the number of the accounting standard. You should simply write the accounting treatment. That is why I have not mentioned over there. IS 37 says that if the chances of outflow is possible, then a disclosure of contingent liability should be made, or if the chances are probable, then a provision is needed. Then a provision is needed to be booked. Then a provision needs to be booked. All right. I have explained the correct accounting treatment. Now this is the matter of judgment. You should write and you should explain. You should write. See, you should write and you should explain that booking a provision is the inherently risky thing. This is your professional marks. You should write. You know what? You should write that since this exercise is based on the management judgment, and you are using your judgment to evaluate, that it is inherently risky, and it quite may be possible, that management had not estimated or judged it correctly, and where needed provision is not booked, or where needed the disclosure is not made. You should write both the things in this aspect, right? And must write the materiality level as well. I will be calculating it and writing in this answer. So probable than a provision needs to be booked. Moving further, since now I am writing this professional skills, since estimating the chances of outflow requires the management's professional judgment and it may be possible that, see that what I'm going to write here, the golden words for the professional marks. It may be possible that previously some kind of case was not happened. This is a one-off activity and this is inherently risky. Inherently risky. One more thing, this is the significant risk. It should be written in your answer. It is a very significant risk, right? And it may be possible, that I'm writing that it may be, and it may be possible that such kind of cases was not happened in the past, which needs an investigation and should look, which needs an investigation from your side. You are writing in just a manner that you are communicating with someone. Anyways, it needs to be investigated, which needs an investigation, and also the past practice of the company. Past practice of the company. Wait, I need to adjust this here. It's not fine. I hope so. Which, and also past practice of the company. Okay. Now, furthermore, I am writing that. There is the risk. You should write that there is the risk. Now, writing such kind of a statement, which I have written after the correct accounting treatment, is the professionalism. This is an analysis and the evaluation skills. So I am now writing at that there is a risk that where contingent disclosure is needed in case of possible outcome, comma, disclosures are not made, or provision is not booked when it is probable, or provision is not booked, when it is probable, and so provision may be understated along with the profit. Now, what would be the double entry of the provision? P&L debit, provision credit. P&L debit, provision credit. Think of the double entry as well, along with the overstated profits. Right? The amount is, now you can simply write the materiality level right at the start, or at the last of the discussion, or in the middle. The amount is, I'm writing the amount is $60 million, which is 8% of the total assets. And in the bracket, you should show up the calculation. 60 over the amount was 750. 60 over 750, bracket close, and hence material to the financial statements, and also material by nature. You know, when you are calculating the materiality level, you should also think that if the case is based on the management professional judgment, that means it is material by nature as well. See that it is material by nature as well, right? By nature as well, that means by nature as well, that means it is, if the amount is not material in terms of the materiality, the amount is not material, so it is material by nature. So I have written down all the things, and now I'm going to move forward. That will collectively give you the 8 marks. The amount is 8% material. These are the things of professionalism and rest of the accounting treatment. All right. I need the feedback from your side, all of you, whether you understand this all of you. Can you please reply me in the question box? Is it fine? You just need to. Now I am summarizing the professional marks in one word. I am summarizing the professional marks in one word. As I have told you earlier, must write why. Why? That means logical. That means logical answer of yours. Logical answer of yours. That means give a rational reason. Give a rational reasons that why it is material, why this thing. When you will be summarizing these things, all your professional skills would be covered here automatically. People fail to write why. That means why this thing actually, why this thing, what is the reason behind that. Now come on, we are moving towards the ACCA practice platform. I am moving towards the ACCA practice platform. I have created the WhatsApp group and you all are there. If any one of you is not here, you can simply WhatsApp me. This is my WhatsApp number right at the bottom, or if you want to see it here, these are my contacting point: WhatsApp, YouTube, and Facebook. You can follow my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, and this is my WhatsApp number. Right now, a point to be noted is that I'm now going to open the practice platform, and I'm now going to attempt the question number 1. Obviously, depending on the time, it will not be covered the entire question, obviously, even the risk assessment requirement, but at least we are well prepared, we are mentally prepared what is actually the expectation from us in the question number 1. Now let's move ahead. Now I have opened this practice platform. Now you are seeing that the AAA exam will cover the briefing notes. Number 1, it is the 1st July. You are the manager. You are the manager here. Wait, let me zoom it out a little. Okay, I think right now it's fine. You can adjust your window like that. Okay, you can open multiple files here, and in the professional papers, these are the exhibits in the different windows. Okay, now point to be noted is that please focus on here. You are assigned to you are the audit manager, right? You are the audit manager. 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 Um, you are assigned to the audit of Crux Group, which has a financial year ended and is a listed entity. See that this is the listed entity. This is the listed entity, and in the listed entity there is a risk of management bias. There is a risk of management bias, right? There is a, I think my pen is not working here to highlight. There is a risk of the management bias. Right now, Pegasus was appointed to the audit. in January 2005. You are the Pegasus. The group operates in a travel industry, offering a selection of worldwide itineraries and has a fleet of 20 cruise ships. The group operates three brands which provide different type of cruises. Three brands. The following exhibits available on the left side. Okay, these are the exhibits. Now I am going to open one by one. Now number one is the partner's email. The partner's email is that to audit manager. You are the audit manager. You are the audit manager. From Norma Star, the audit engagement partner. The audit engagement partner. Subject audit planning of the Crux group. Date it is 1st July. Hello. So we will also be responding accordingly. It is written that I have provided you with the information which you should use to help you with the planning, the audit of our new client. Remember that this is the new client, right? This is the new client, and the new client involves the detection risk, and it is in the upper spectrum, the new client, right? Now I have read the enough information right now so that I will be able to write my initial risk. Let's move ahead. Now let's move ahead. The exhibit covered A, B, C, and there are three requirements. Number one is the using the information in all the exhibits, evaluate and prioritize the significant risk. Evaluate and prioritize. You need to prioritize the risk to be considered, and see that you are not required to consider the audit risk related to the foreign exchange transaction. So you are not supposed to be applying IS 21 foreign exchange requirements. No, not at all, because it's not required. Number two, design the principal audit procedures to be performed on segmental information. And number C is the matter to be considered in deciding whether Pegasus should accept the engagement to provide advice to the social and environmental information. Now you can club these information 25 and 5, 30 plus 10, 40, and 10 marks are the professionals, right? Now moving next, this is the partner email, and I'm now closing it down because my initial, now the briefing notes here, this is your briefing note. Now this is your answer starting point. I am giving the heading of briefing notes, right? But first you should write the briefing notes heading. I am writing the briefing notes. I am doing it bold. Okay, I am well assuming that you are able to see my screen very clearly, and I'm doing it zoom a little more. This is the briefing note, right? This is the briefing notes, and the briefing notes would be headed, and you should write to whom you are responding. Focus on this thing. You are writing to the Norma Star audit partner. So what you can do is that you can simply copy paste as well. You can simply copy paste Norma Star audit partner, because since you are responding to the audit partner, right? You are responding to the audit partner. So I'm doing it. Copy and paste. From who are you? Audit manager, right? What is the subject? The subject is the audit planning of Crux group. Audit planning of Crux group, right? And then you should write, you know what, and then you should write out the introduction heading, because this is the briefing notes which will give you 4 marks, which will be giving you how many? The 4 marks, right? And you should focus on these words very carefully and critically and carefully, right? Now I'm going to type this thing, the heading of introduction. I'm giving the introduction, and you should write this briefing note. You should write that this briefing note. You should write down the purpose. This uh, briefing notes is prepared for the audit planning of Crux Group, or the audit planning of Crux Group for the financial year ending 30th September 20x5. You should remember the accounting year, right? You should remember the accounting year, 30th September, and full stop. This briefing note will assist. It is prepared to assist. Assist. What is the purpose? The purpose of the briefing note is to assist in the audit planning. Now you know what? You are near to get 4 marks, and not completely 4 marks, because you are required to use the heading, subheading, and the complete question will be when ended. You have to write down the conclusion as well, right? So this briefing note is structured to, what is it? It's including, you need to write down the thing, what is the requirement of the audit partner, and you are the manager, that prioritize, to be prioritized, identify and evaluate the significant risk to be, okay. So this note contain, this note contains, you should write out, this note contains what? This note contains the evaluation of, what was the requirement of the partner, audit risk, and with the prioritization, significant audit risk, right? So I'm now writing here, this note contains the evaluation of significant risk, significant audit risk, just wait a minute, I think my video is stopped. Okay, this note contains the evaluation of significant audit risk with the prioritization of, because you need to prioritize. It's strongly mentioned, with the prioritization of risk, in terms of likelihood and impact on the financial statements. The note also covers the what is the next requirement? The next requirement is of the audit procedures The next requirement is of the audit procedure and the discussion of the additional proposal consideration. This note also covers the audit procedures on the segmental information, and you know what? And the next requirement of the audit partner is that, the evaluation of the matters whether or not to accept the social and environmental information, segmental information, and the evaluation of proposed engagement related to the advice, group social and environmental information. Okay, evaluation and advice of the proposed engagement related to the acceptance of the group social and environmental information, right? Group social and environmental information. Now this is your starting point of your briefing notes. Now you should need to write down the requirements. That what is actually the requirements. And the part A requirement is about the evaluation of audit risk. Now part A requirement is the evaluation of the audit risk, right? So I will be writing here part A, and I am writing with the heading of evaluation of audit risk. Right? Now this is my heading and I'm doing it bold. And you know, this is the structured starting, that too from subject introduction, and with the introduction this is the heading and you should bold it. And this is the matter. This is simply nothing. This is nothing very difficult or technical, I should say. This is something which is the requirement. I have structured in a very formal tone. That's it. First, do tell me, all of you, the students, in the question box, do you understand this thing? Will you please type in the chat box to answer here? Do you understand this thing? How to start up the question number 1? Please reply maximum students, because you know sufficient and appropriate evidence. Please reply in the chat box. Do you understand this is the starting point? How to write the answer and how to start the answer? Okay, that's fine. Now listen that while writing the audit risk, I will be writing the thing. What? First of all, you should write down the materiality. Now let's go back to the partner's email. One thing I had noticed that it is our new client. So definitely this is the detection. I'm closing this window. Now the background information, I need to read it. And these are the information. See that in this information, In this information, it is written that information related to 3 brands and all these things. Okay, I'm now again closing this window, selected financial information. It's opening. You should wait. It's opening here. Now this is the group financial state. The group financial statements. The group financial statements, and you can scroll it. What I'm now going to give you a message right now within the very short time span. This is the new audit client, right? And so the detection risk is always there. This is the new audit client, and so the detection risk is always there. So you should use the materiality benchmark first. You should use the materiality benchmark first, right? And the materiality benchmark is profit before tax. What is the profit before tax? That is 81. This is written here 81%, right? I was finding out the financial statements. 81. Please calculate, use your calculator. It is 81 million, and just calculate its 5%. Calculate its 5%. It would become 4.05. 4.05 million, and you can use the upper range as well, 5 to 10 percentage, right? 5 to 10 percentage. So I'm not going to write a evaluation of the audit risk. You need to write out the reason, reason why the reason. Since it is the new audit client, and so your materiality level should be at the lower benchmark, must write the materiality level according to the new style of the examiner. I'm writing here materiality. Okay, so what I'm now going to write, you need to write the strong reason why you are calculating the materiality, because it is a matter of a judgment, and you need to write the significant risk, and I'm now going to write the reason. And first of all, I'm opening this window as well. This is profit before tax, total asset as well here, right? Yes, total assets. So write down 2 or 3 benchmark percentages. I'm now writing here materiality level. It can be from 1% to 2% of total assets. Write down the amount. Total asset was 1800. Total asset was 1800, right? So calculate it's 1% and 2%. That is dollar. 1800 is 2.01. It would be dollar 18 million, and 2%. Calculate the 2%. 1800 is 2.02. It is obviously 36. Dollar 36 million, right? It can be from 1.2% of total assets. I am writing the range. It can also be 5% to 10% profit before tax. No need to write all these things. Write down which you know it very clearly, right? So what was the profit before tax? What was the profit before tax? It was 81 million. It was 81 million. So write down the percentage. It's 81 million, and that is amount 4.05 million to 81 is to 10%. That would be 8.1 million. This is the range. Now you have calculated the materiality. Now which materiality range should you follow for this specific client? This is not the old client, this is the new client. And you have to write why you are deciding this lower scale of the materiality. You know why? Because this is the old audit client. No sir, it is the new audit client. And it is a matter of professional judgment. So I will be writing something about the materiality. You know, it will be easy for me to elaborate the thing, to relate the things with the upcoming matter. I have just started the thing. So I am writing here. I'm writing here regarding the materiality, that is the since the materiality is the matter of auditors professional judgment, and so considering this case, the lower scale of materiality will be considered, since Crux Group is the new audit client, and so the detection risk can be high. The detection risk can be high, right? So I have written down the reason. I have written the reason. This is the professional marks. This is a judgment. This is a judgment. Come on, this is the judgment. So you will be having 1 or 2 mark based for this thing, and later on for the things. So you need to write this, that why you are writing down this materiality. So considering this case, the lower scale is decided, right? And you need to write something for the materiality, that this is the materiality is the starting point. Materiality is the starting point, and lower down the materiality would enable the auditor to consider more and more risk. When the risk is high, materiality is low, and so your procedure would be high, right? So I am writing that materiality is I should write in a different language, that this is the starting point. This is the starting point of the materiality. This is the starting point of the materiality, and it may be revised accordingly based on the situation. It may be revised accordingly based on the situation, and considering the lower scale of materiality for this client, considering the lower scale of materiality for this client, more procedures can be performed. Now this is your recommendation for the audit team, your recommendation to the audit partner, that we should do this. Consideration of the lower scale of materiality, more procedures can be performed, right? More procedure can be performed in the audit. Now that is this. I had written down something for materiality. Now remember, I have written down this materiality. Why? Because this is a lower skill, this is a new audit client, and I have a very strong relationship with the case study. So I have written down till here, and considering the time in mind, I have to end this webinar now. And simultaneously, I will be explaining you people that I will be continuing this thing from tomorrow. So do not miss the tomorrow webinar, and all the 4 days, you do not have to miss any single day, because it's a matter of your AAA exam, right? I will be continuing this tomorrow. Just wait a minute, please. So remember that tomorrow is your the same timing will be followed. But before going to exit this session, okay, Joseph, I will explain it once again. I need the feedback from your side. Is there any value addition in your revision? from this today's class? Please reply it honestly. Okay, now we will be applying this thing. We will be applying and continue this thing tomorrow, right? So this webinar till here, I really wish you people good luck and see you tomorrow. Do not miss tomorrow's class. See you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.